this routine that we're going to do is way more focused towards adults. So the main difference is actually got nothing to do with the movements. It's about how I'm going to cue things up for you. I want you to understand a bit more about what you're doing things, because a lot of the time we move for the sake of moving, which is fantastic, but for people who have some other funky stuff going on, like sore backs, neck, shoulders, they kind of need to understand why. It's the only way you can really get over it. So what we're going to do, we'll start with a few roll downs again. So you're going to have a little bit of space away from the wall, leaning against it. Now, you might notice when you're leaning against the wall, there should be a bit of space between your low back and the wall, okay, and the back of your neck and the wall, okay? Now what I want you to do first time is to try and close off any air bubbles between your back and the wall in the process of you trying to stretch your head as far up the wall as possible. Cool. Now what that does, it naturally organises your deep waist muscles, okay, so you end up effectively looking like a bit of an hourglass through the waist, so between your hips and your ribs goes in, okay, your spine then goes up. Now keeping that length in mind, can you reach your head a little bit higher and then you start going down the wall, but trying to really stretch your ribs as far away from your hips as possible. Cool, and we start peeling our back off the wall. Now I say peeling quite specifically because what will often happen the first few times is our back will try and move in big blocks, okay? Now if we think about all our spines stacked up little bricks, we want to try and move each little brick all on its own. So as you're coming up, my challenge for you is to slowly place each brick back against the wall, okay, one at a time, okay? There should be no twos or threes, it should be each individual bit of your back at a time. Nice. How did that go?
Hard.
So the secret to it, okay, and something that which kids don't really have to think about it because they still run around like crazy animals most of the time, but for adults, if we spend a lot of time sitting down, we don't know how to use our waist much, okay? So the easiest way to get flexibility in your spine is when we do this, can you think about trying to actually pull your belly button in towards your spine, which naturally organizes your deep waist muscles, okay? So as you go through your roll down and roll up, this time I actually want you to think, go really long, really pull your belly button in, and again, start stretching through your neck and your back on the way back down. That's it. Cool, again, you go as low as you feel you can, this time taking your forehead straight onto your knees for me as well, so you get a big stretch out of the back of your neck too. Okay, now when you're coming back up again, really trying to deepen those waist muscles, belly button in. Really imagine you're holding on to 10 kilo dumbbells in your hands, so you're slowing your shoulders, but you're trying to get each little pocket of your vertebrae onto the wall at a time. Cool. Now, we've got two versions I want to do to make it harder. Okay, first one, heels right against the wall. Now, the secret to this is not just going forward, you've got to go up. Yeah, okay, so feel your head against the wall. Can you grow another 2 centimeters taller? Beautiful. Now from there, you've got to keep that length in your waist, and like Ash said, $100 bill on the ground in front of you, electric fence in the way of that. Can you get up and over it to slowly roll all the way down, fingertips onto the ground, and then slowly back up. Awesome. So try that once more. Again, get really, really tall. Big stretch of the rib cage up. And then slowly all the way back up. Cool, and then my personal favorite, you're gonna step about 10 centimeters away from the wall. You take your arms straight up towards the ceiling. From there, you're gonna come right up onto the very tips of your toes, okay? Now, your arms should not be in your eyes, okay? You've gotta be staying back in line with your ears. From there, you gotta roll down, same process, curving your back, trying to keep your arms out of your eyesight. So you've gotta really curve through your back, deepen your waist muscles, get as close to the ground as we can. Ooh, keeping the heels off the ground. Slowly but surely, be the tortoise, not the hare. Cool. And then slowly back up. Again, you should not be able to see your arms. Nice. All right, and with this one, we go back down again. One more. Now, I'm being pretty mean to you, Dale. You are on a spongy mat, so your balance is going to be having a hard time. Cool, keep your heels up, roll all the way down. This time hands come onto the ground, and we're going to walk our hands out into a full plank position. Cool, now we just drop onto our knees there for a moment. Now, when we start challenging our abs as adults, often we'll just block out in our six pack. Now what I want to work on today is again trying to pull your belly button in towards your spine a little bit. It connects your pelvic floor and your deep stomach muscles. So you're going to lift your belly button. From there you hover your knees a centimetre or two. Then we're going to walk our hands back towards our heels, sitting low into a crouch. Cool. And again we're going to walk all the way back out into our full plank. When we're out of full plank, really think deep belly button, pulling it in, bending through our knees and our hips, walking our hands back in. Now we're going to go another 3, we're going to go a little bit fast each time. Right from the start, can you think about deep stomach and waist muscles, all the way in, all the way back out. And last one. Cool. Now from there, we hitch our hips up really high, straight up towards the ceiling. We want to press out of our fingertips, reaching your tailbone high again, belly button in deep. Cool. Now from there, we're just going to slowly bend through our knees, slowly lowering our knees down, keeping our shoulders nice and long. Cool. Now from there, we're going to roll forward out of our hips. So you're going to take your tailbone under, between the backs of your legs, get as big a curve through your upper back as you can. Slowly roll your hips forward. And almost like you're unraveling through your spine, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. Cool, and then from there we start at our head. Head comes back towards our chest, press out of our arms and shoulders. Really try and keep your pubic bone, okay, the front of your pelvis as close to your belly button as you can, as we roll all the way back towards our heels. Nice, now this is awesome for waking up your backside, starting to get your low back moving a little bit more and getting your hips moving. So we go again, start at your tailbone goes through the backs of your legs, pubic bone comes towards your belly button, or if you can imagine wearing a belt, can you bring your belt buckle as close to your belly button as possible? Keep that belt buckle up nice and tight even as you're unfurling into that big lift in your chest, a big extension in your back. And then again start at the head, keep the belly button and the belt buckle as close together as possible as you're rolling all the way back. Cool, 2 more, but this time keeping our knees off the ground. So you dig your toes in, hover the knees, same process. Start at the tailbone and the belt buckle to belly button, rolling all the way forward, reaching our chest up. Now the only difference with this one is from there we're going to press our hips straight up towards the ceiling. So you keep your legs straight, roll up through your waist, drive your tailbone high into the air. Hold that for a few moments. Then we come back up onto our tiptoes, lead with the pubic bone towards your belly button, rolling and rippling through your waist till eventually we lift our chest again. Cool. Last one. Head and shoulders rolling through. Deep waist. Beautiful, mate. And slowly coming back in, rippling down. And from there we sit back, take a few moments. Cool. Cat stretches. Okay, so we're going to try and get your back moving more in that flexion extension. So you're going to take head towards your pelvis, lifting your mid back towards the ceiling. Again, how deep can you keep your belly button? Good. From there at the tailbone, start from the tailbone lifts, we ripple through your back, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. Okay, and again we start at the tailbone goes under first, rolling, rippling through your back. Cool, just got a couple of these, each direction please. Cool, and then we settle back into the middle. Then we've got our side bends, okay, so basically you want to look around your shoulder to try and see what's on the opposite hip. Okay, well, so not the opposite, the same side hip. Okay, then we keep going side to side. So you look around your right shoulder, see if there's anything sitting on your right hip. Keep going a couple each side. Getting a bit of a side twist out of your back. How does that feel, Dale?
Good.
Feels nice, good man. And then we combine the two, bit of a disco cat option, okay? So take it back to the 70s, Dale. No? All right. So from there, side bend. Then you're going to flex, taking your head towards your pelvis, okay? Now we go side bend the other way, look around your left shoulder, see what's on your left hip. And then you lift your chest and your tailbone, look towards the wall in front of you. Now, if we go through the circle, the harsh reality is not everyone's coordination is the same. And I'm not too stressed about that. What I really want you to get out of it is that just moving your back any direction is going to be really healthy for it, okay? Don't get too caught up in the detail, just really try and move your spine, explore any tight spots. Anything that really stands out as being quite tight, I just want you to hold there. You're going to take an extra deep breath in, and you want to think about your ribs expanding like massive helium balloons, trying to stretch them from the inside out. Cool, a couple breaths there, and then you can keep working your way through. Now for me, if you've only got 30 seconds to put into yourself on that particular day, exploring your back in this manner is your go-to. Okay, it'll help to really open up through your spine, and that'll sort your hips and your shoulders out quite well as well. Cool. From there, we're going to get into a bit of side bending work. So I'm going to get you lying on your side. With your hand up with the knees here, just keeps your back nice and long. Your left hand reaches out in front of you. We call these chalk circles, so it does help to imagine you're holding a piece of chalk, but it's not essential. You can just think about keeping your hand on the ground as you start drawing the circle. Now once your head gets up in line with your arms, you're going to squeeze your knees together a little bit more. That locks your pelvis in place, and from there it's all about turning your back, okay? Because your arm will go only as far as your back allows. Your hip again. Okay, we just draw two big ones. So each time you reach a little bit further, okay, shrug the shoulder up towards your ears. Okay, press your legs together, leverage off. Cool. Right from the start, reaching the arm really long. How far around can you? Big reach through your arms and back to the start. Wicked. Rolling on. Cool. So from there, we're going to do some spine curls. Now this is really similar to the roll down exercise we started with. So you've got to think of your back in each individual little section. So the image I like to use with this works really well for guys. Imagine, you know the classic Stegosaurus dinosaur, 4 points, got all the spikes on the back, yeah, stuck on its back, okay? All those little spikes are wedged into the ground. Your job is to pull them out one at a time. Okay, so you're going to start at your tailbone and your pelvis. You're going to take the first spike out of the ground, then the next one, and then the next one. Now you have to go one bit at a time. Okay, and you roll up as high as you feel you can. Cool. Now from there you have to place them back down one at a time. So you've got to start from behind your rib cage. Okay, one bit at a time. Now you guys can't see on the video, but I've got the best view of Dale's waist. He just goes, really goes in nice and deep because he's thinking about how deep his waist has to be, which is perfect. Now the other thing to keep an eye on your back is what our pelvis is up to. So we think about the cat stretches we were doing before. We talked a lot about bringing your belt buckle towards your belly button. So my challenge for you, Dale, is can you lower your chest about 3 inches, bring your belt buckle heaps closer towards your belly button as you're rolling all the way up and down. Because if we go too high, if we ended up really over lifting through our hips, our back muscles, they actually tighten up, which blocks that flexibility. So we want to keep as much of a tilt under of our pelvis as we can. Bum and backs of the legs will start to sing. Beautiful. Hold there, no higher. Keep that height though. Tilt your pelvis under heaps more for me. That's it. Hamstrings starting to sing, and then you can slowly relax back down. Beautiful. And then once you're up for a little bit of a challenge, you've got your hips up nice and high. If you keep fingertips on your hips, they've got to stay perfectly level, okay? You could put the building tool, the level, yeah. And you've got to keep them there as you just float one leg up. Cool, we hold that for a few moments. Bum and hamstring again, waking up, lower it back down, swap for the other side. Generally, there'll be a difference between your sides. One will work really well, the other a bit unorganized. Don't stress about it, just acknowledge it, okay? Think about how you're trying to use your waist, feel what's going on in your backside as you keep changing your legs. It's really easy to catastrophize things. There's a really big difference between the sides, okay? It's human nature, been around for a while, we all take slightly different steps. There's lots of weird things that can happen with our bodies. As long as you're not in pain, there's nothing to worry about. Cool. Bring the leg back down, you can slowly roll back down, one bit at a time. Okay, because we actually want to stretch the sides of your back. Now, if you bring your hips back before your rib cage is moved, you're actually shortening that space. So can you bring the rib cage back to the middle without letting your hips and your legs move? Deep in your stomach, really pull the belly button in, relax your neck, mate. Because a lot of the time we're really happy to move big heavy things and pick things up off the ground, but if we don't actually have the control of our back, that's when a lot of back on the left side, arm goes behind your head. We'll finish off with those chalk circles. So right hand reaches forward, just going to trace a big circle around. Now once your arm starts rolling past your head, it's all in your legs. Okay, press your legs together. Okay, organize your deep waist muscles to take your hand all the way around. That's it, beautiful. This is not uncommon for me to get to this exercise with people and they feel like their legs have had a workout. That's how hard I want your knees pressing together through this. Oh, there's a little groin cramp. It's from my swim this morning. Bugger. Cool. All right, then we go in the reverse. So start wrapping around, going the other way. That groin cramp. Bugger. Gotcha. Damn. I was doing breaststroke like a champ though. All right. Sure. Yeah. All right, now from bring your head towards your knees and then from there you roll. Balance on your shoulders for a moment. Balance on the shoulders. That's better, mate. Nice. So the closer awesome. Cool, and that's like go to.